Yeah, I was looking for somewhere to volunteer for. I didn't have in my mind anything in particular, but I saw a news story that people in aged care facilities couldn't leave their rooms. It was like crazy lockdown. Like obviously we had sort of restrictions, but not to the extent that they had within the aged care facilities. And it made me think about my nana when she was sort of isolated in her room. Just going to the tea room was probably the highlight of her day. And if she was able to get a visitor, that would be the most amazing thing in her week. But when she wasn't able to do that, I just was thinking like, what part of her day does she enjoy now?
'Cause I get up and I may fall right back down, but your love lifts me back to solid ground.
I love just going out and getting new experiences and travelling, and joined the Army Reserve, and I was working in banking and then changed over to auditing. And then when I got to it, it was like, okay, that's not gonna fulfill me. Yeah, I think I realised that having the opportunity to help other people, I think that's really important. I don't actually know that many people that volunteer, but I don't blame them. It's hard to like have time to be able to do those things, and it's like, oh, I've got to buy a house, got to like do this, you know, there's all these things you got to do. I always remember my teachers, and they're the kind of people I look up to. Very early on in my high school, my parents separated, and one of the teachers somehow knew about it, and they pulled me aside and just spent, I think it was a full recess with me, just talking to me about that, and yeah, it just meant the world to me. Everyone deserves help, and I think sometimes there's not enough support for people, particularly people in aged care facilities. They just don't get visits from people. People seem to forget about them. People I've spoken to who I've talked about volunteering, they'll say, oh, I don't really know how I can help. And that was me, to be honest. Like, I felt like I wanted to help in the aged care, but I didn't know if there was a way to do that. And that's why when I came across the community visit scheme, I was like, that's it. If I had known that there was a way I could just befriend an elderly person, I would have done it years ago. With Ray, I would just be like, what was the first car you had? Or, you know, what do you think about this? Or what? We just talk about movies, music, everything. I never did that with my nana. I don't even feel like a volunteer. Ray just feels like a friend of mine. Ray's taught me to have perspective on life and not to sweat the small stuff. The community visit scheme, I think, is one of the greatest volunteer programs I've come across. I just thought it sounded really nice, like just the idea of befriending someone. It feels like I'm sort of celebrating Ray's life. Yeah, I wish I'd done it a long time ago.
Yeah.